Come on, drive, good. Low count, don't stand up. Finish the drill, Tyler, let's go. Make sure you're right close. All right, because when he's stuck, because again, defensive lineman, what are you taught to do? Get off the block, right? All right, okay, offensive linemen, they can be as close as they can.
Just underway here in the second quarter. Arizona just stopped USC on 4th and inches, and here's Chuck Levy motoring down the field, down to the 32-yard line.
There are games where you're literally sitting on the sideline, Pulu just mauling guys.
Sitting home in Oceanside, California, you have to love this.
Pulu as a player was a fun-loving guy and was hard to beat. And I think he lived his life that way as well.
Pulu was a very humble boy when he grew up. One that played with all the kids, one that went around, a very happy person he was, even from the beginning. And most of the time it was from the house setting that we had here at home. Pulu was a very cheerful person, even up to the adult that he became to be, and also in the many things and the relationships that he shared with others.
You know, Uncle Pulu was somewhat a father figure to me besides my dad. You know, just knowing that the way my dad was exactly the way Uncle Pulu taught us and raised us. And that was Grandma's teaching. God, family, love. That was Uncle Pulu in a nutshell.
He was that uncle, the cool uncle that you can always go to about things, man, and talk about things. And he was closer to our age so that we can relate to him. And so it was always easier to talk to him. It was crazy, man, because me and Fale and Sid and my brother, man, after the games, we would run down there and we were so proud to be his nephews. And we would sit there and we would all try to get his helmet. I think that was a big thing, you know, back in that day. We wanted to hold his helmet and put his helmet on and be cool and carry it around. And man, it was such a blessing, man, to be part of that and to remember that thing, because, you know, that was probably the beginning of all of our sports.
Growing up on the east side, going to Oceanside and representing our name was a big deal to us. Then going to college and playing at Arizona and moving on to the NFL. That path was something that we followed, something that we kind of looked up to as a guide. Reason being stems from the teachings of our grandmother, Makofi, my Uncle Pulu's mother. She taught us to keep God first, respect our elders, take care of family, and give back at any given chance.
As a family man, you know, when you think about, a word to describe Uncle Pulu, you think of pride and passion and how much he cared about his family, especially his wife and kids. And I think that translated onto the football field, to the way he approached the game, how he prepared for it, and how he coached kids up. You know, my experiences with him on the coaching spectrum of things, I'll forever be grateful. Coming up in the coaching ranks, you know, you always look for that mentor and for those guys to guide you through and help you become a great coach. And Uncle Pulu was definitely one of those guys, and I was very fortunate, you know, even at the family functions, it was always X's and O's with us.
Yeah, you know what, I was a Wildcat, but inside I still bled green, so I'm back home, and I'm back home in Oceanside, and I'm happy to be here.
I want to thank you for the things you've done. I want to thank you for your generosity, and I'll never be alone.
I had an opportunity to be probably his first coach here at Oceanside High School during summer workouts before his freshman year. Pulu was convinced in his mind he was going to be the next Joe Pow Pow, you know, Jack Thompson, Samoa. He was going to be the next great Samoan quarterback. And it was Coach Barrett that broke his heart, because after a day of practice, I took him out of the quarterback line and pointed him over to the lineman line near Saliasai, and I said, son, I think we want you to go over there right now. And Pulu never let me forget that. You know, he felt that I had stymied his quarterbacking career.
I think the first time I met Pulu was when I was the senior economics teacher in summer school. And in that class, I had Saleh, Pulu, Jerry Garrett, my sister, my baby sister was also in that class. I got to teach her, but seeing Saleh and Pulu in the front of the classroom, I could barely see the other half if I was sitting down, because I just didn't believe how massive they were, because I coached at El Camino at the time, and so we coached against them, and they were just amazing athletes. But as I kept track of Pulu, the one thing I noticed about what Pulu did was he came home. He came back here to Oceanside, and he came back to give back. And so I just hope that other kids, you know, for whatever reason, when you do go, and if it's college for whatever, I want you to follow him as an example. Come back to give back.
We started something big. What we started, I think, was family. We started an incredible experience of relationships with players that bore fruit and has continued to bear fruit over the years, of Pirates coming home and giving back to the community. And of course, Pulu's right there at the first. He goes on from high school, plays major college football at Arizona that you all know about, has his time in the NFL and the CFL, and to his disappointment, his football career ends, but to our joy and eternal gratitude, his Oceanside coaching experience begins. He starts coaching with us. He works on his teaching credential. He gets his teaching credential. He's coaching with us. He becomes the defensive coordinator. He goes off and is a head football coach at 2 different high schools, beats me. Thanks, Pulu. And comes back to Oceanside High School as our defensive coordinator again, comes home.
Pulu and I are literally brothers. We're cousins. He's been an older example, mentor throughout the years, and consulted him on a lot of things coming up at Oceanside High School, and even in Arizona. Followed him up there and got to know him and Jessica pretty well. And it's a wonderful, healthy relationship, and a relationship that blossomed into not just being family members, but having that good example of how to carry yourself in public, how to love unconditionally. If there's anything that I can remember Pulu is in those terms.
When I think of Pulu, I just think of somebody that had a loved life, that he was a great leader because he got the most out of himself, but he inspired his teammates. And he was such a good person, and so smart, and somebody that, to our team in Arizona, he was a tremendous leader. And you can tell that because this past week, just my phone has just gone crazy with all of the guys that he played with, just connecting with each other. And he was somebody that brought our offensive line together. He was one of the great leaders of our offensive line. And those guys, I think, have been particularly moved by his passing, saddened by his passing, but I think they have been so excited to talk about how much they love Pulu, and that he inspired them to be the best that they could be. And I think the celebration on Sunday here will be amazing, because he was such an amazing person, and he lived his life to the fullest.
In any article or any video that you see of my Uncle Pulu, he prided himself so much on his family, his culture, and God. And I want to thank you so much, Uncle Pulu. You know, throughout my life and through everything, man, I've looked up to you. And without you, this path wouldn't have been as easy. But I want to say thank you so much. And those three things is, you know, the anchors of this family and for what you stood for. And so for that, I'll carry that on. And your legacy will live on here as an uncle, as a father, as a coach, as a friend, as a brother. I love you so much. And yeah, Manuia Lomalang.
Pulu Pomele quoted in October 29, 1994 in the Tucson Citizen article. My values are love of family and respect for others and the toughness to last through hard times. They are a part of life. My mother taught me to take life in stride. When things go bad, I look at this as a loss. It's how we rebound that is important. Every Samoan kid needs to take what he learns from his parents. Do the best you can do in everything you do and never lose that attitude. That's crazy. That's crazy because Uncle Pulu always preached to us. Family. Where you're from. Represent. Represent.
We hope that you enjoy his service today. We hope that the service reminds you and that you carry out of his service today not only the man that you shared, not today and not just the past years, but that you carry his belief, his motivation, and most of all, the love of Jesus Christ that he shared in everything he did. Not only today, but carry it on to the future. We believe that Pulu lives forever through you. He may be in heaven, but he will live forever because you're able to pass on what he gifted us with to the future children and those today. So with that being said, on behalf of the Pomele family and the rest of our extended families, we thank you very much for coming to support, and we hope that with all the little treasures and memories and the guest speakers that take place today in remembrance and in honor of Pulu, we thank you very much, and we hope that you take that message that they have to share amongst each other and take it out to the world and make this world a better place. Thank you.
As we grow older, a lot of times when you're young, you don't really think about a lot of things that can happen in your life. And as I'm going through my own life, I start to see a lot of the things that they speak about. One of the things that, again, has been preached year after year, starting with my grandfather and grandmother, is the Word of God and the love of God. And as we grow older, and as I start to see and raise my own family, I see those things come. And you know, life sometimes is not as easy as it seems. But one thing that I have taken from those teachings from grandma and grandpa, and also my mom and dad, is the fact that you know, prayer works. And there are times in my life sometimes where that's what I need. And we talked about it before. Those are important moments in your life, and you don't realize it until you really need it. But at the same time, I lean on those teachings that were taught from our parents. And as I grow older and I have my kids and I talk to them, you know, I try to encourage them the same things. Aside from that, PJ, you ready for your song? But again, like I said, we love you guys. Maybe next week PJ will come up and sing a song for you. All right, thank you.